Hey, everybody, we're back with Sports Beat, our weekly look at the world of sports. I'm here with Randall Nelson, Aaron Mutha Alamere, and Glenn Kellaway from the basement. Please sub these guys up. They're all parts of the vinyl community. We like to get away from the records once in a while and talk a little sports. So we're here, and gentlemen, great to have you back. Happy Thanksgiving out there, everybody, by the way, coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
We're doing our
Yeah.
show on Wednesday because of the holiday. And we'll have the usual predictions and power rankings, and we're going to rank all-time great defensive players, our favorite defensive players. That's the agenda for today. Any other general talk guys want to bring up? I know Randall had a couple things about some recently passed away athletes.
Yeah, Bill Verdin, who was the manager for the Pittsburgh for years, also managed Houston. And he actually was on the 1960 team as a player for the Pirates when Bill Mazeroski hit the home run and they won the World Series.
Yeah.
But and then Doug Jones, who pitched for a lot of teams, but I remember him from the Cleveland Indians. He was their closer for a lot of years. I think he made 3 All-Star teams, but his fastball topped out at like 80 miles an hour or something like that. So it was like slower and slower. And batters would go up thinking they could crush the ball, and he had this change up that he was kind of a pest. But he passed away from COVID, unfortunately. But,
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I hate to hear that.
Too young.
Much too young.
Yeah.
Condolences out to those folks, families, and friends for sure.
Yeah.
Hate to hear that. Other than that, I was thinking maybe in a couple of weeks when the NFL announces their finalists for the Hall of Fame, maybe we could jump in and decide who we would pick from that list. They usually have a final 15 or something. We could each pick 5 that we would say we would push towards a Hall of Fame vote.
That would work. That'd be good.
Be a fun idea. Right now, there's like 250 people on the ballot. I was looking at it online. So they have to narrow that down a little bit, and then they'll have their finalists, and they pick from there.
Who votes on that? Is that sports writers, or is that a
Now, they have a committee. They have a committee, a Hall of Fame committee. A combination of, I think, sports writers, historians, maybe a couple ex-players, and they're the ones that make the final decision. So...
Do the Hall of Fame players get a vote? I thought they got a vote in it too. All the Hall of Fame players, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about that. It's possible. I'm not sure about that. It'd be interesting to know that for sure.
Yeah. Have any of you guys ever been to Canton?
I've never been to Canton. I've been to Cooperstown. That's the only one I've been to.
I've been to Canton.
How is it?
And Cooperstown as well. Oh, I thought it was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
They were working on some exhibits when we were there, so we didn't get to see the full thing. But it's a nice experience.
It's funny. I was in Cooperstown the summer of 1969, the year the Mets won the World Championship. I was 12, and that was the summer of Woodstock and the Manson killings and the Man on the Moon. A lot of stuff going on in '69. And that's the year my family took a trip up to Cooperstown to go to the Hall of Fame. It's just a little sidebar. It was really cool back then. I'm sure a lot of changes since. I'm sure they've expanded it and added rooms and stuff, but it was quite small as I remember.
I was really young when I went too, so I would like to see it again.
Yeah, I'd love to go too. That'd be good. Hey, a sports beat live from Cooperstown.
Wouldn't that be cool?
We gotta make that happen.
That's funny. You want to do our defensive players and kick it off with that, or do you want to go into the power rankings?
Sure.
Which one?
Okay, let's do the power rankings first.
Yeah, the power rankings have switched places a lot here. With all the favorites getting knocked off by some underlings here. Number 10, believe it or not, they've slipped in recent weeks. The Dallas Cowboys placed 10th.
Really?
Yes. They had a number 7 vote,
Actually, they're not even on my list.
They didn't. Glenn didn't.
That's why
Glenn didn't throw him a vote at all. I had him 7. Aaron had him 10, so he's right on the money. And Randy had him 7. So 2 7s and a 10 and a non-factor. Put him in the
Cowboys.
Put him in the last. Number 9 are the LA Chargers. 8.
Yeah.
8 is Kansas City. Back to back, Aaron and Randy there. Number 7, Baltimore Ravens. They seem to be fairly consistent at that 7 spot. 6 is New England. They're moving up. New England Patriots. In the top 5, you got Tampa Bay at 5, Tennessee Titans at 4, which I was surprised because they lost a few iffy games. The LA Rams are at number 3, Green Bay Packers at 2, and holding down the number 1 spot are the Arizona Cardinals. They had 3 of the 4 first place votes. Aaron did not have, he had him number 2. The rest of us had him at number 1. So
I am a bit surprised that KC's not getting more love. I mean, I'm starting to jump on the bandwagon here. They're starting to look pretty good.
yeah, I had him 6th. Glenn had him 4th. Aaron did not have him at all, and Randy had him 5th. So we had a 4, 5, and a 6, and off the board.
Yeah. Are they back, Randy?
Well, their defense is playing a lot better.
A lot better.
It's just, I think that Mahomes just needs to be more patient because the first 2 drives, he marched them right down the field because he took the short stuff and he's just, sometimes he's just wanting the big play too much.
Yeah.
He needs to just throw it to the running back in the field when he can get 7 yards, but he'll kind of wait and try to see something downfield. Then I'll throw it to him and he get 3 yards because the guy's already up on him. Same with when he runs, he'll kind of like go out there and still looking and get like 3 yards when he could have had about 10 yards. But just run. But
he calls his own plays, Mahomes?
No.
Do you think he calls the game? No.
I mean, sometimes he has a run pass option, and
yeah.
He said this week that he messed up a couple times when he should have just handed the ball off.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, they beat a fairly good Cowboys team, and
that's what really we talked about. I hate Booger McFarland. We talked about that already, and I watched the Monday pregame show, and here he's talking about the Cowboys were missing their left tackle, and they depend on the left tackle more than any other team. And I'm going, and Steve Young's going like, every team depends on their left tackle because that's the blind side unless you're left-handed. And Chris Jones wasn't on the left tackle, who kind of disrupted the game.
Yeah,
he was on Martin, who is probably a Hall of Famer. But
if you notice the Cowboys specifically, though, every time he's out, they can't move the ball, and then plus the receivers were out in that game too. And still, Kansas City didn't do much.
Spags did just probably his best job of coaching the Kansas City defensive coordinator, because he was run blitzing on first down when the Cowboys were just trying to run the ball every first down and they weren't getting anything, and then they got him in passing situations. I thought they kind of got out coached that game.
I'm looking at the schedule. Kansas City has a bye this week. Kansas City and Arizona, they actually gave them bye weeks on Thanksgiving, which is interesting.
And all 6 teams that are playing on Thanksgiving all lost.
Wow, that's good.
Oh, I never thought about that. That's interesting.
How about that? Yeah, that is interesting. Huh.
We got to suffer through Detroit. What do you guys think? This is this. It's just like a habit of playing. The Lions have to play on Thanksgiving.
I hate.
I mean,
that.
come on. Oh,
I know it's tradition, but yeah, it hurts the TV viewer because we never see a good game.
Just put good teams together on Thanksgiving. That's all.
Well, the late game they have. They have a third game now.
Yeah.
Because part of it was Lamar Hunt used to be the Kansas City Chiefs owner, was wanting the Chiefs to get on Thanksgiving, and they finally put a third game on.
Yeah, so he could revolve some teams. I guess
the Chiefs were on once, and that was it.
They should rotate. Every team should get a crack at it eventually.
Yeah.
But
I don't think the players care about doing it.
no, probably not.
Well, the Raiders are on this tomorrow, and then I don't recall ever seeing them on Thanksgiving before. So
Probably not. I don't remember either. It's usually Dallas always has a game. Detroit always has a game.
yeah,
And a lot of those are usually divisional games or conference games.
mhm.
The odd game this year is Buffalo at New Orleans, and I don't ever remember either one of them being on Thanksgiving
Yeah.
before either. So
No, so that's
Yeah.
somewhat of a blessing, I guess.
when's the last time the Chargers were on, Aaron? You remember ever remember them on Thanksgiving?
I kind of think they played the Cowboys a few years ago and beat them, but I can't remember if that was Thanksgiving or not. I thought it was,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure about that.
it's weird how
That
they
was
do
that
that.
was a wild Chargers game that looked like they had a one, and
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad they put it out because that would have been a bad one to lose.
Yeah. Did they? Are you guys? Well, so who's watching football tomorrow night versus the Beatles Get Back?
I don't have Apple, so I don't know.
It's Disney Plus.
I don't have
Disney
Disney
Plus.
Plus either, so
You guys.
I'm
I've got-
waiting for the
got it.
DVD. I'm
I had to
hoping
get
they
it.
release. I want them to sell the DVD in the store so I can go out and buy it.
Yeah,
They
it'll come
might
out.
like Christmas.
It'll come
I
out
think
pretty
that'd
quick.
be
Yeah, I don't know if I just want to. I don't know if I want to temporarily get Disney Plus just to watch it or not.
Well, I did. I paid $11.99 for the month, and then as soon as I've watched it a couple times, I'm just going to cancel. So it cost me $12 to watch it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I may end up doing that because I am anxious to see. I'm sure it's going to be excellent. Peter Jackson's directing it, and the archives. He's digging out all this material that nobody's ever seen before, and
Yeah,
that's the part that intrigues me the most.
yeah, it should be pretty good.
You know, I'm not on the level as Glenn Kellaway as a Beatles fan. I love the Beatles, but I know, you live and die with them. I can tell by looking at your collection in your room and your hat there that you're a huge.
Yeah,
I admire the Beatles. Grew up with them, but I would love to see that
They're one-
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody with a pulse loves the Beatles. I mean, how can you not?
Half of my family hates them, half of them loves them. So it's kind
Really?
of weird. My wife
that's funny.
doesn't like those. My family always loved them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, my kids love them. Everybody in the family
That's
loves
the
them.
Beatles.
All you gotta do is play the music. How can you not love them? I mean, they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got my oldest friend. We met in grade 1. We've been friends ever since. And in 1967 for Christmas, Magical Mystery Tour came out that November, and I got it for Christmas from my mom and dad. And I phoned my buddy Dave, who we were just talking about, and said, I got Magical Mystery Tour. He comes running over, and we play Magical Mystery Tour together for the first time. We both heard it together for the first time. He's coming to my house. So tomorrow night, I'm not going to be able to watch. It's my wife's birthday tomorrow, so I'm not going to be watching the Get Back thing tomorrow night. And so Friday, he's coming to my house, and we're going to watch the Get Back thing on
That's
Friday.
cool, man.
Thursday.
That's real
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun.
That's cool to be friends with somebody all the way back 60 years or whatever it is, It's awesome.
Yeah. When we had hair, amazing.
Way back when.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into our defensive player. This will be interesting to see how we line up here. Who wants to go? Aaron, you want to go first this week? Number 10.
Sure.
We'll
Number
rotate.
10.
We'll go around the board one at a time, starting with number 10.
Yeah, this is kind of a hard list to do. But number 10, I put Daryl Green. I always thought he was a great underrated player, the cornerback for the Redskins.
Excellent player.
A little short. And he was really consistent. I just always liked how he played. He had, I think, 54 interceptions or so, quite a few.
He was
and
a good player.
He was always, he'd take out all receivers, and he was always dominated most of them. Not a big Redskins fan, but
like that pick.
I like Daryl Green.
All right, Randy, you're up second.
Well, most of mine are kind of old school, although I don't have one current player. But I always loved those mean middle linebackers. And the first one I thought was Ray Nichky. I mean, I saw him at the end of his career, but I always thought he was pretty brutal to look at.
Yeah, they all
Like,
something about those.
that guy's kind of scary.
You had to have a scary face to be a linebacker in those days.
That's
It
a
was like you just
great
looked
pick.
at you, it scared the crap out of you.
Yeah. Awesome pick. I love Ray Nichky too. I remember having football cards with Ray Nichky, and he was mean looking on the card, you know. What do you got, Glenn? Number 10.
One thing I want to say about defense is I am more of a fan of defensive play in sports than I am in offensive play. I always figure a team could have a really good offense, but if they got a crappy defense, they're not going to win.
Right.
But if you got a so-so offense and you got a good defense, consistent defense, you're going to win a lot of games, whether you're playing hockey or football or baseball.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. So the defensive side of the ball always intrigued me. So I'm going to start off with Ted Hendricks.
Nice.
Stork.
The Stork. Yeah.
Yeah. He's He kind of
Great
reminds me of that guy who played in Lurch in the Addams Family. I mean, he's just, you know what I mean? He's
His name was Ted too. Ted Cassidy.
yeah, Ted Cassidy. Yeah.
That's funny. Ted Hendricks, great player.
Yeah.
My number 10 is I'm going to go with the middle linebacker. I almost had Ray Nichky. He was my short list of guys. I went with Dick Butkus
Oh yeah.
of the Bears. He was just ferocious. Another mean guy, sideline to sideline. He played on a not so good Bears team in those days. He was the best player on the defense for sure. He had 22 career interceptions for a linebacker. It's pretty damn good. And 27 fumble recoveries. So he was all over the ball. You know, he was a playmaker and for a slow guy, as far as, you know, he was a big, ominous figure, but seemed to make a lot of plays. So he gets my number 10.
The Bears had a lot of intimidating defensive players in their history.
Through the years.
More so than you think about it. I just, you know.
They did.
Yeah. Brian Urlacher, and there's a whole bunch of them.
Singletary and, you know, those kind of guys. Yeah.
Richard Dent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, number 9.
Number 9, and officially he's not on the sacks list, but unofficially he probably leads the league in history. It's Deacon Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, Deacon Jones.
And so they say that he actually had more sacks than anybody, but they didn't count the stat back then, so they don't really know how many he had. So he was a pretty solid player.
He was an amazing player. Yeah.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
LA Rams back in the day, right?
Yep.
Later went to the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Like played a year or so there, I think. Year or two.
Good. Who you got, Randy?
Man.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I should say Ray Nichky played for the Green Bay Packers for the younger viewers that don't know who that is. But my number 9 is a safety. It was one of the hardest hitting safety, and it's Ronnie Lott. Played for the 49ers. Didn't he ask him to cut the tip off his finger or something because they got a playoff game or something? What was it?
It was a whole finger.
Yeah.
He lost the whole finger.
That. He lost the whole finger. I didn't know that.
Off.
How about that?
His pinky finger.
Yeah, I think
they either would have had surgery and missed a bunch of time, or just cut it off. They just had him cut it off.
Yeah, he was a great one.
There you go.
Excellent player. What do you got, Glenn, at number 9?
I got number 9, who actually was a pretty solid player on both sides of the ball at some time in his career, Charles Woodson.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing player. Great cornerback.
Another Raider, right? Wasn't he a Raider?
Another Raider, yeah. Wasn't he offensive player for the Packers?
He was a returner.
Return.
Yeah, he was an excellent player.
Isn't he the last defensive player to win the Heisman?
I think so. Yes.
I think so too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The returns mixed in.
Yeah.
Kick returns. Yep.
My number 9 is right on the money with Aaron. Deacon Jones. Unbelievable. Fearsome foursome, LA Rams, most of the 60s into the early 70s. I read, where he had 173 unofficial sacks. That's going back and look at film, they didn't register the sacks, I think, until 1980 as an official NFL stat. And, you know, they're going back and trying to figure out, well, is that a sack? Is this, they're looking at NFL films. They had him for 173 unofficial. They probably missed some too. And they outlawed the head slap because of Deacon Jones. Deacon Jones's move was head slap, opening, get the quarterback. He was a devastating weapon on defense. So he made my list easily at number 9.
Oh, man.
All right, we're down to 8.
But this was really hard for me to do this. But I had to put Derek Thomas on there, even though he's a Chief. So he was just an amazing player.
Yeah.
That's one game, and if he wouldn't have gotten that car wreck, who knows what his
Oh my
career
goodness.
stats. Yeah, I felt bad. I always liked him, even though I'm not a Chiefs fan. I always just did like him. I like certain players from teams I don't like, and I always appreciated his play. Thought he was great.
Very
That's
likable
awesome.
player.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about you, Randy, at number 8?
My number 8, I didn't want to have too many Chiefs on here, but I did put Buck Buchanan. If you watch the Super Bowl, and he just looked like a huge guy, but compared to today's players, I guess, you know, they weren't as big as, you know, back then, but back then he was a huge guy. And he tossed some of the Vikings players on in that Super Bowl, and he was just amazing. I thought Buck Buchanan for the defensive lineman for the Chiefs.
Good one.
Okay, I'm going with number 8. I just think of hair when I think of this guy, Troy Polamalu from Pittsburgh. What a great player he was, though, man. He was all over the frickin' field. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
He was more like the rover position. There's one in football.
Yeah.
He's just everywhere. Great tackler.
Yeah, he's
Amazing
on my
player.
list a little bit higher up. So it's a great pick. I love that pick. Number 8, I went with a guy who, you know, maybe the name recognition isn't there, but every time I watched him play, he was very effective. Derek Brooks of the Tampa Bay Bucks, a linebacker. He played his whole 14-year career with them. 25 interceptions, 24 forced fumbles, and he scored 7 touchdowns on defense. So when he got his hands on the ball, he could find the end zone. Always liked Derek Brooks. He was on that Super Bowl team that won in, I think, 2002. So all-time great.
Awesome.
I'm also one of the one. We're at number 7.
7.
All right. The all-time official sacks leader, Bruce Smith for Buffalo.
Oh.
I always liked him. He was a great dominant player, and finished with 200 sacks. Loved him.
The most ever.
Yep.
Officially.
Officially, yeah. Number 1.
Yeah, that's great. Is it me?
Yep.
Okay. Number 7 is probably somebody that's going to be on Rich's list. That's Reggie White. Played for the Eagles and played for the Packers. He was just a force in the middle, and nobody, you know, you had to have 2 guys on that guy.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
great
great
guy
player.
off the field.
Yeah,
Passed away too soon.
definitely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I will have him on my list a little bit later.
Yeah. My number 7 is a guy who's still playing, but not to the same effect as when he was played for the Seahawks, is Richard Sherman. Yeah, another great cornerback. I mean, he was an exciting player, and I mean, they went to 49ers for a bit, and I think he's with Tampa Bay now, isn't he? He's with the Bucks.
I'm not sure where he's in the league, but I don't know who has him.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
but anyway, he was an awesome player when he played for Seattle, and kind of, you know, slowly is
Those were his glory
deteriorated,
days.
but yeah.
Good one. My number 7 is Bruce Smith of the Buffalo Bills. Really like Bruce Smith. 11 Pro Bowls. He had 13 seasons of double-digit sacks, which is an NFL record.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that? 13 years of double-digit sacks. He was a force. one of the great defensive ends. Played on those 4 Super Bowl teams. Couldn't get the ring though, unfortunately. Seemed like a nice guy off the field too. Unassuming, big smile, very likable guy. Bruce Smith.
We matched on 2 of them now. That's kind of
Number
number
6.
6. Well, this guy had 132 and a half sacks. It actually tied him with Lawrence Taylor. And he doesn't get any even close to the recognition. It's Leslie O'Neal, defensive end for the Chargers. And, most people don't even think of him when they think of the Chargers. He was one of the best defensive ends in the 80s. And he was just really consistent. Like I said, finished with the same amount of sacks as Lawrence Taylor. So
Definitely underrated for sure. Definitely. All right, Randy.
Now, it seems like a lot of the defensive players I like are the ones that, people feared. And one of, you can see in some of the quarterbacks' eyes and some of the old footage they show is Dick Beckus. Dick Beckus is on my list too. He said he wanted to hit somebody so hard that their head popped off. That was kind of what his attitude was.
He could do it.
He was a game wrecker. That guy was. He was.
Yeah. He was a career record.
Yeah.
He probably got he'd get a lot of penalties now.
Yeah. That's a different game.
Yep.
My number 6, this is for Aaron, Junior Seau.
Good one.
great player.
I mean, just an incredible athlete, an incredible player. Geez, I don't know what to say. Unfortunately, he died kind of tragically and too young, but just an amazing player.
Isn't it amazing? Some of the guys 4 of the guys we've already talked about died very, very young. I'm talking Reggie White.
Yeah.
Derek Thomas.
Yeah.
Who did we just mention?
Seau.
And there was one other. There was 4. There was a 4th guy that we talked about that died too young. But all defensive players. Who the heck was it? I don't know. It's not coming back to me. But these guys all died way, way too young.
Mm-hmm.
Sad. Is it from the physical nature of the way they played, the head injuries? I mean, in Seau's case, absolutely.
Yeah, most definitely.
Reggie White was a shocker to me when he died. I mean, all of a sudden, the guy was as big as an ox and strong and spiritual, and he had everything going for him. Positive person, and just woke up one day and he was gone.
Yeah, you sell your soul sometimes for this, career.
My number 6 is a guy that I don't really have any attachment to him. He never played on my team, but every time he played against the Eagles, he was making plays, and I thought he was a great player. Julius Peppers.
Yeah.
9 Pro Bowls, 159 sacks, 4th all time. Incredible. 52 forced fumbles, 52, 11 interceptions, and 6 touchdowns. An amazing player. He's got to get in the Hall of Fame. I think he's on the ballot this year. I would vote for him.
Great
player. All right, we're down to the top 5.
Number 5, and this is very odd for me to like this player because I usually hate flashy players. But I always like this guy because he was a great outfielder too. It's Dion Sanders. Best cornerback.
Boo, hiss, boo.
Flashy player.
He was a good player.
The kick returns, and he would have had many more interceptions, but no one would throw to the center of the field. And he's probably the best athlete that's played the sport, maybe right up there with the best athletes ever played. Being able to score a touchdown, hit a home run on the same day, and then stealing bases. And,
Yeah,
but
he didn't like to tackle though.
Yeah, not a great tackle.
But nobody would throw to that side of the field. I mean, he would shut one side of the field off.
Yeah, and he was the most exciting kick returner I've ever seen.
Yeah, great athlete. There's no doubt. But he was a cowboy.
I liked him with the Falcons is when I started getting it, and then Falcons and the Braves. He was with my Braves, so I liked him a lot. So
It's hard not to pick him. He's so great. But...
Yeah, he was great. Great player.
Okay, what do you got, Randy, at 5?
I'm loving these middle linebackers, these scary ones. Unfortunately, I couldn't put Willie Lanier on the list because he's one of my favorites. But another guy that's even more brutal looking than Ray Nichky, and that was Jack Lambert when he didn't have his teeth in.
Oh God, yeah.
He was standing there in the middle line. He looked pretty scary, and I think his own teammates were a little bit scared of the guy too. But
yeah,
and he was a fierce tackler.
Steelers, another team known for their scary defensive players.
Yeah, he was an enforcer for sure.
Wow, that was a great pick. I'm going with a guy who's just in the prime of his career. Unfortunately, he got hurt, season-ending injury playing with the Bears, but he was originally a number 1 draft pick. The Raiders, Khalil Mack. This guy is fast, and oh my God, he's an incredible player. How the Raiders ever decided to trade this guy, I have no idea. But just an amazing. And he's
how bad's the injury too?
I'm not sure. It's just he's out for the rest of the season.
Oh, that's
so.
Yeah, it's a shame.
But
my number 5 is the only active player on my list. Aaron Donald of the Rams.
mhm.
I just think this guy is unbelievable. He's another guy that gets double teamed and it doesn't seem to affect him. He's still all over the ball, in the middle of all the action. I love watching him play. He's definitely a future Hall of Famer as far as I'm concerned. Dominant player. Aaron Donald. All right, so we're into number 4.
Number 4 for me is Lawrence Taylor, most dominant line, rusher ever. Didn't have the but he was just a beast. And he was one of the feared guys too. People just they sent 3 guys at him and he'd still get to the quarterback. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of changed football. So
yeah,
he's my number
pick.
4.
It's a great
Kind
pick.
of weird putting him at 4.
Yeah.
I'm dying to see who your top 3 are, Aaron.
One of them's been on already.
I got one guy I think I have one guy I think is going to be in his top 3. It's already mentioned. But
right,
my number 4 is one that Aaron mentioned, and he is a Chief, and that's another kind of Lawrence Taylor type that could wreck a game, and that's Derek Thomas, one of the fastest guys going around the end. And I remember watching his best game, actually. He had 7 sacks against the Seahawks.
Wow.
Dave Craig was the quarterback, and he was sacking him last time. It was going to be number 8, but Dave Craig got the ball away, and it went in the end zone for a touchdown, and actually lost the game that Derek Thomas had 7 sacks.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
But yeah, he was an unbelievable player.
Sure was.
My number 4 is another active player who's kind of, I guess, maybe on the downside of his career, J.J. Watts.
Yeah.
He's great.
Just with Houston, he was just unbelievable and great community guy too, and just a classy guy and just a great defensive player.
No doubt. My number 4 has been mentioned, Troy Polamalu by Glenn. Just a Pittsburgh Steelers safety, 8 Pro Bowls, couple rings, 12 years, all with Pittsburgh, 32 career interceptions, 7 fumble recoveries, 14 forced fumbles, 5 touchdowns, and he had 12 sacks in there as well from a safety on a blitz. So he always seemed to come up big in the playoffs too, and whenever they needed a play, he was the guy. So he had to make my list at number 4.
And 17 commercials, TV commercials too.
A lot of commercials.
That in his stats.
Okay, down to the top 3.
All right, my number 3 has already been talked about. Just like I got the old man strength, Reggie White. Amazing when he was with the Eagles and the Packers both. He was just maybe the best interior lineman ever.
Yeah.
You can't say enough about Reggie White. I don't know why he didn't make my list. So. Let's start over.
Great pick. What do you got, Randy?
My number 3 is the only current player, and Glenn just mentioned him. I say current player, but he's been injured the last 3 years, and that's J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
He's always entertaining to watch. He could bull rush you. He's pretty quick to go around the outside. But, unfortunately, his career's kind of on the skid a little bit in the last 3 years. When he's still a great player, but he gets hurt. He's been getting hurt every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 3, Michael Strahan, New York Giants. Just loved watching that guy play football. Giants had a great defense in those days with Strahan and Lawrence Taylor and everybody. But I was a big fan of that Giants team, even though I'm not really a Giants fan but they were fun to watch.
Definitely. I'm going to be a homer and go with number 3 at Brian Dawkins, safety. This guy was a hard-hitting, intimidating player. 37 interceptions, 36 career forced fumbles, 4 touchdowns, 4 more playoff interceptions. He was a big-time player, 9 Pro Bowls. Really the leader of the Eagles defense in the Andy Reid era. Just a tremendous player. Heart and soul kind of player. Small guy, physically, but he would go out there and lay it on the line. So always like Brian Dawkins, the Wolverine, X-Man, whatever they called him. He had all these nicknames. Sort of a fiery kind of player. That's my number 3.
Very cool.
My number 2 is actually a current player, and I think he's the best safety in football. It's Derwin James. He can do everything. He can cover any receiver and rush the quarterback. Very smart, and I just think he's an amazing player. I love watching him play.
Cool.
That's good.
Okay.
Randy's up.
All right. My number 2 is, and I don't think there's any doubt that he probably has more sacks than anybody in football. I don't know if all the games are available to go back and watch, but Deacon Jones.
Yeah.
That guy was a monster.
Yeah.
And probably all-time sack leader.
I don't think there's any doubt either.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any doubt either if you hear him talk.
He probably sacked him every time when a quarterback dropped back, he thought he had him. So what a great defense too. They had Merlin Olsen on that team.
Oh,
and they were the fearsome foursome for a reason. Who was the other guy?
Rosie Greer.
Rosie Greer.
Oh, Rosie Greer, yeah.
Can't think of the other guy.
They had a guy named Lamar Lundy was there for a bit. Roger Brown. I mean, they had the fearsome line.
Yeah. They were a fun team to watch back then. That was like one of the teams to see on a Sunday, with Roman Gabriel at the quarterback.
Yeah.
Them and the Vikings. The Vikings had the Purple People Eaters, and the Rams had the fearsome foursome.
Yeah. Number 2, Lawrence Taylor. Another one of those Giants guys from that great team they had. And what can you say? Lawrence Taylor was he was mean, he was fast. And I think he ended a couple of careers, didn't he? Or at least he put some guys out for.
I know one career he ended for sure. He splintered a guy's leg on the Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Joe Theismann.
Yeah.
That was not a pretty sight.
No, that was one of the ugliest plays ever in football to watch. Yeah. So Lawrence Taylor, number 2.
I feel bad about leaving LT off my list because I don't consider him a favorite player, but certainly one of the, I think maybe the best defensive player I've ever seen, the most dominant defensive player I've ever seen in his prime. He controlled the game from a defensive position. There's no question about it. But he had his off the field things that troubled me a bit.
That's true.
That's the only reason I didn't put him on. My number 2 is Reggie White, Minister of Defense, 198 official sacks. Like we talked about earlier, the double teams couldn't stop him. He had that swim move where he would make the swim and just power through a bull rush. And he was good at stopping the run. He wasn't just a pass rusher. He could stop the run as well. He was an all-around great defensive player. So And both with the Eagles and the Packers. So he had to get my vote at number 2. All right, we're down to the big one. Our favorite
number
defensive
1
player of all time. This would be interesting.
Yeah, mine's not a surprise.
Yeah, I think I know.
Junior Seau, probably the most instinctive middle linebacker. He's just, there'd be a play called, he'd do something totally the opposite, end up with an interception. He's just all over the field. And he was so fun to watch. And got the Chargers to a Super Bowl defeat in itself. So
yeah,
no, I don't know. He's always been my favorite.
That's a great pick. It is
great player. Great player.
I do have a few that
great player.
All right. My number 1 is an outside linebacker. And the only player I've met on my list is he used to have a barbecue joint in Kansas City. And that's what Hank Scram called him one of probably the best athlete that he's ever had. And that's Bobby Bell. He was outside linebacker in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But he could cover guys, and he's just a
good.
Great tackler.
Yeah.
Oh, he seems like a great guy too. From one of he used to come to the tables and talk to the customers all the time. And
that's cool.
He was a great guy.
How was the barbecue?
The restaurant's not around anymore.
Was the barbecue good?
It was okay. It wasn't the best barbecue in Kansas City, but Kansas City's probably a hard place to start a barbecue place. But he was a good guy.
Bobby Bell, he was a great player. Was he number 89? Maybe. What was his number?
No, 89. I think was.
That's Otis Taylor.
Yeah, Otis Taylor.
Bobby Bell. I
can't ever think of his number.
Yeah, I don't know, but I remember watching him. He's a great player. Willie Lanier in the middle and Bobby Bell on the outside. What a duo.
And I just heard that, guy that just got in, when I went up to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he had just got into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It was Curly Culp. And I just saw where he announced that he's got pancreatic cancer stage 4. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But he was a great player too.
Yep. Who you got at 1, Glenn?
My number 1 has been mentioned a couple times. I just have such a soft spot for this team, the Buffalo Bills, Bruce Smith.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like
just
Bruce.
A great player. And that team, 4 Super Bowls and never got a dinner. And just loved watching him play. And like you said, he's a classy individual too. Seemed like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And great player. 200 sacks. So the official sack leader at 200. And, he played for the Bills from 1985 to 1999. So he had a good long career. I think his career ended in Washington, didn't it? I think he ended up playing with Washington for a year or two. He was pretty much done by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My number 1 is somebody that anybody that knows me would say, nah, why would you pick this guy? Well, because he's the one guy that I liked watching play defense the most, because every single game I ever watched him, he did something spectacular in. Ed Reed of the Baltimore Ravens, a safety, 9 Pro Bowls, 64 interceptions, 9 more interceptions in the playoffs, big time player. And he scored 13 touchdowns from the defensive position.
Really? Wow.
Yes. He
Great
gets his hands on the ball. He's taking it to the house. This guy was unbelievable. I mean, he had Ray Lewis in the middle, like him or dislike him. But Ed Reed would clean up that back end. Anybody
Don't get me started.
I know you're a big hater on him, and I don't blame you because he did murder somebody, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But anyway, Ed Reed had to be my number 1.
Allegedly.
He was there. He was there.
I don't want to get sued for
He was
libel.
there.
Yeah.
Ray
Lewis on your ass now with his lawyers.
Ray, don't come looking for me, man.
Yeah. He lives in Philadelphia, Ray. I'll give you his address out.
He's got contacts in every city. Anyway, that's my number 1. I had to put him there, even over my 2 beloved Eagles, Reggie White and Brian Dawkins. There's something about Ed Reed I always loved watching, and I couldn't leave him off.
That's awesome. That was fun. There's so many defensive players to choose.
God.
I know you guys, when you're looking at this, you could rate a list of 100 of them. And
for sure.
They'd all be worthy of being in the top 10 somewhere.
Even like
Yeah, I
Alan
had
Page.
about
How about
five-
Alan Page? What a player he was.
Yeah, yeah. Viking, yeah.
What'd you
I'm
say,
surprised
Aaron?
Jerome Brown didn't pitch.
What's that,
Who?
Aaron?
Aaron, you cut
I'm
out.
surprised- Huh?
You
You
cut out
I
there.
didn't hear it.
I'm surprised Jerome Brown didn't make your list.
Oh, Jerome Brown. Yeah.
Hmm.
He didn't have a long enough career, but he was quite a player for the 4 years that he was here. Yeah.
Yeah, he
I
was
even
really
go
good.
back to the
I
Bill
also want to put
Berge,
Jack.
Bill
Jack
Berge.
Ham. Remember Jack Ham? from
Jack
the
Ham,
Steelers?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Steelers, yeah, he was awesome.
Nick Bonicani for the Dolphins.
Yes, great player. Oh my
Bob
God.
Lilly. If I was a Cowboy guy, Bob Lilly was a great player, and Merlin Olsen. So many.
Couple of Raiders that almost made my list. Jack Tatum as a safety and Willie Brown, cornerback. Both
Yeah,
of them were
they're
great players. Yeah, there's a
legends.
ton.
Mean Joe Green.
Yeah.
Mean Joe
Mean
Green.
Joe
Nobody
Green,
had.
yeah.
Nobody had Joe.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I didn't like that Steelers team back then, mostly.
Because they
I
beat the
hated
Raiders.
Yeah.
I almost had Jack Youngblood and Warren Sapp on mine, but
Jack Youngblood, another
Both
great one
great.
from the Rams, right?
Yeah.
LA.
I like your
Yeah.
Daryl Green pick. I wish I would have thought of him because he's definitely a favorite of mine. I let him
Wow.
slip by. He was a good one.
That was fun.
Yeah, how we doing on our predictions, Glenn? You've been keeping track of these?
Well, without bragging, I had 3 out of 4 last week, boys.
Yes,
Nice.
you
And
did.
Rich,
Ugh.
how did you do?
Did I have one?
How about the big? No,
I
no, we
didn't.
can't even give you a 1. You were a goose egg, man. You got a goose egg.
Oh, I must have calculated.
Aaron
wrong.
had 2 right, and Randy is. Oh, did you get one? Did I screw it up?
I don't know. I'm going to go look. I thought I had one right. No.
You had Green Bay and they lost. You had Buffalo and they lost.
No.
You had New Orleans and they lost. And you had Dallas and they lost.
You're right. I have a big fat goose egg. I have to change. I have to change that. 0. Okay. What did Aaron have? 2?
Aaron had 2 and Randy had 1.
Jeez.
All right. So I really dropped.
Randy's guaranteed to have 1 every week. You know,
That was
you
the-
can bet your money on it. That he
That
will
was
have
the
1.
first week I didn't have 2. I had 2 every other week except last week. I had 0. Oh my God.
I got to
So
learn
I
to
got-
not pick against Philly.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Philly's
Yeah,
coming
so
on, man. Philly's coming on. Look out.
Yeah.
They're playing a bunch of.
So I caught up with
dogs.
Aaron. So we have Aaron and I have 13 each. Rich has 10 and Randy has 8.
Hey,
Okay. Well, this will be an interesting week. Glenn picked the games this week. And they are, well, we have a Thursday game because we're doing this on Wednesday. So we have Buffalo at New Orleans, Tennessee at New England, LA Rams at Green Bay Packers, and Cleveland Browns at Baltimore Ravens. Those are the 4 up for grabs. Randy, why don't you take on that first one? Buffalo at the New Orleans Saints.
well, the way Buffalo's been skidding, they got to be able to win games. I'm actually going to take Buffalo at New Orleans.
Randy has Buffalo. Aaron?
Doesn't that make you guys all want to pick
You know,
the
I think-
Saints?
Probably. They got
The Saints
Trevor
are still a tough
Simeon's their
call.
quarterback. He was terrible at Denver. I don't think
Yeah, but the Saints are really tough at home and their defense, but I just can't see Buffalo losing again. I got to go Buffalo.
Aaron's got Buffalo. Glenn?
Oh, is this the game Randy's going to get right and the other 3 he's going to blow? I'm picking the Saints at home. I think the Bills are going to lose another one.
Yeah. Glenn has the Saints. I'm going to take the Saints too, even though I wasn't impressed with them against the Eagles. I'm not a Buffalo fan. I think they're overrated. So I'm gonna go with the Saints. What do we have here? Tennessee at New England. Glenn, you want to take this one first?
Ooh, this is a tough one, man. Patriots are looking good, but Tennessee, I'm going to take the Patriots. I think Tennessee's going to come down to earth a little bit.
Glenn Kellaway has the Patriots. And I am going to agree with him. I will take the New England Patriots. Aaron,
Patriots.
that's
I don't
3 on the.
trust.
Yeah, you don't trust. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. What about
Pressure's
you,
on, Randy.
Randy?
I'm actually, New England's got a good defense. And I guess you saw last week if you have to rely on Ryan Tannehill when he doesn't have Derrick Henry, he's not the same quarterback. He threw 4 interceptions. I think New England wins.
Okay,
that's
we got
a sweep. All of us on that.
Go the other way.
Yeah, Titans are going to win for sure now.
Yeah.
Take it to the house. All right, we got the LA Rams at the Green Bay Packers. Aaron, what do you got on this one? Rams at Packers.
I'm going Rams. I'll go Rams on that one.
Aaron has the Rams. Randy.
I know the Rams looked terrible last week against the 49ers, but they're probably going to have a bounce back. But at Green Bay, maybe it's going to be cold. I'm going to get the Packers.
Packers for Randy. Glenn.
Oh, this one's a tough one, man. I want to say Rams because I'm just not sold on the Packers being as good as they seem to be. I don't know. Just my Aaron Rodgers hating hat, I guess. But I'm going to go for the Rams.
Glenn's on the Rams. I'm going to take the Packers. I think at home, maybe they'll have a cold front come down and freezing that turf up a little bit for them. So we have 2, Aaron and Glenn on the Rams, Randy and Rich on the Pack. And last, we have the Cleveland Browns at Baltimore. I'll go first on this one, and I'm going to take Baltimore. Glenn.
I'm going to take Baltimore as well.
Glenn's on Baltimore. Aaron.
I want to take the Ravens, but I'll take the Ravens. I can't see Cleveland. Not with their quarterback.
So you have the Ravens. And Randy.
Cleveland seems to be in free fall, but Baltimore seems like it's always the last play of the game when it gets decided.
I know.
I'm still going to take Baltimore.
Wow, we all took Baltimore there.
Wow, this will be interesting.
Man.
So 2 games are a wash, and then so the Browns and the Titans are going to win. Bet your money on those games, and we'll Rams and Bills. I bet on a game last week, and I bet that the Panthers in Washington. I picked the Panthers.
Oh,
I
my
haven't bet on a
goodness.
football game for a while. Oh, was I pissed off?
Yeah, I was pissed off because I took the Saints against the Eagles, and the Eagles beat them.
Oh,
I can't pick a winner right now, so I'm not going to gamble this week. I'm laying low. That 0 said it all. When you go 0 for 4, you might as well stay out of the race. It's not worth it.
yeah. Well, it's you only got one place to go, and that's up.
That's up, man. All right, so I don't know what we're going to do next week. We have like 10
next
days.
week.
We have 10 days off now because we're not doing this
Yeah.
Friday. We'll do the following Friday before we come back again. So we'll have to figure out what we're going to do. You want to talk about it now, or you want to talk about it later?
I don't know if we could elaborate in this idea, if it'll work or not, but what about our favorite teams, sports teams? Not overall like the history of the team, but just like the 69 Mets or the 2015 whatever, or could we do our top 5 or
We could do that. You want to
10
do
of our favorite teams of a certain year
certain
in all
year
sports?
in all sports. I
All
could
right.
do it.
That's
I-
good. Yep.
I could do that. You
Could we
guys
come
feel
up with
comfortable
10?
with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about you, Randy? You sound like a winner.
Was it one team for each sport? Or what was it again?
No, you can do it. Do multiple.
Oh.
If you want to do more football teams, than if you want to do a basketball team and 9 football teams, go ahead.
So 10 favorite sports teams
Of a certain year, though, not overall. Not like saying, "Oh, Kansas City Chiefs are my favorite team." You want to say, maybe a certain player played on a team or
certain specific year.
Yeah.
I'll have doubled up teams there.
Yeah, could you have like more than one of the same team but in a different year? Example,
I think so.
the 1980 Phillies, the 2008 Phillies.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
could.
think so. Yeah.
Don't bring the 1980 Phillies up.
Hey, I think all your guys' teams have beat me in the finals. I know Glenn's Tampa Bay, or not, excuse me, Toronto Blue Jays beat me in the World Series. Have we ever lost to Kansas City? No, I think we have the upper hand there. And I don't think we've played the Chargers in a big, obviously not a playoff game or a Super Bowl.
No.
But the Braves, we've gone head to head with the Braves over the years. 93, the Phillies actually beat them. Yeah.
And Phillies have great teams too.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. That's a good idea. You want to do 5 or 10, Glenn?
I think I could come up with 10.
I can come up with 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably gonna have some basketball teams in there too. And
yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to throw a couple of hockey teams in there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll have a couple of hockey teams.
You can go back to the 1940s for the Toronto for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah. Okay, you're just getting even now. That's cruel.
Back to that last
I told you they're my favorite hockey team.
You're a cruel bastard, Randy.
How about that last cup team?
They're on my favorite hockey team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. They were when I was a kid, and I don't know why. Because we had one of those hockey games, and I was always wanting to be the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But
even Olympic teams too, like Miracle on Ice team. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be a football, like a professional league team.
How about the Ryder Cup teams?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Probably won't be on my list.
No, mine not either. Yeah. Golf is a nice walk ruined. I like that phrase.
All right, so that's what we'll do.
Mark Twain actually never said that, but it's been attributed.
That's a good plan. We'll do that next time out. So that'll be a week from Friday. Favorite specific individual sports teams, year and team in all sports.
Yeah.
So we'll count on that, and we'll see how big of a switch our power rankings take with some of these games coming up this week. Should be fun. All right, guys. Appreciate you coming on. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yes.
Here, out there. We will see you next week. Leave some comments with your favorite defensive players. We'd love to hear some feedback. For Aaron, Randy, Glenn, I'm Rich. We'll see you next time out. Happy Thanksgiving. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. I'm going to cut out. Thanks very much. We'll be in touch.
Okay, guys. Take care. That was great. Thanks.
Have
a great day tomorrow.
You too.
Okay.
Take care.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.